Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage Part 12. We're going to do this challenge for Handle where we have to recover the flags, because apparently collecting flags is vital to prove that their mission was a success. If you could even call this mission a success. I don't even know what the point of this mission was. They're probably going after terrorists or something like that, which is what we're about to encounter, I think, in this level. Okay, so I guess their mission did have a justification then. So we collect this Super Flame power-up. I'm pretty sure we've seen the Super Flame power-up in other levels before, where Spyro's breath becomes infinitely more powerful, and it also allows us to aim his breath, like the same way we would aim a weapon kind of thing, where you just press the triangle button, and then it goes to first person with a crosshair, so it makes it easier to aim. And oh look, there's one of the terrorists right now hanging out on top of that flagpole, or if you call, a flagpole. He has a flag with him right now, this terrorist. He's clearly a diaper-wearing man-child. It's like one of those man-children we see on YouTube that just likes wearing diapers, and he has an obsession with collecting odd, bizarre things. Like this one seems to like collecting bombs. Yeah, this totally aged well. This aged really well. It's one of the most best aged levels in the entire game. It's running those weird exploding orb things. It's not the kinds of orbs we collect in this game. The things that are clearly some sort of explosive devices. They look like snow globes almost. Looks like one of those things the Martians and Mars attacks threw at the president near the end of the movie. We thought it was going to be an explosive device of some kind, but it was just a snow globe. Only snow globes are indestructible like that in real life, and they could just, be like, fake grenades or something like that. I've seen snow globes actually that were quite powerful actually. They're more like balls, like those plastic balls you could kind of like mold around with your hands almost kind of thing. Kind of stretchy. So you destroyed that thing. Oh look, Spyro can't bend his neck that much because Spyro's neck doesn't break in this game, unlike it does in Spyro 4 where his neck breaks. There we go. I think we hit him. Yes, we hit the diaper-wearing man-child, and we let him fall to there, so we're going to go and do his other challenge. I think it's do this 3 times, and each time it's supposedly harder, because there's more of a track to do, more of a thing to do. And there, we got all the gems in this level. All 400 gems have been collected, and now we're going to go after this flag keeper guy. What is a flag keeper, anyways? Is that a job someone could have in real life? With the unemployment rates being so high nowadays, we're gonna want to have flag keepers as being a job. Just gonna keep throwing those grenade bombs down at me while I run and try to dodge them. If you get hit by one of the things in the slightest, even if it just slightly, subtly ricochets off a wall and slightly dings Spyro in the head, it counts as a failed attempt. It counts as a failed attempt pretty much, where Spyro loses and has to start the whole thing over again. Thankfully, it's not the whole thing over again, it's just a segment over again, but it gets longer. It all becomes like Space Ace, where we have to know exactly where to run and where to dodge and how not to get hit by the bombs. I'm pretty sure Space Ace had stuff like that too. Only this game's obviously a lot better than Space Ace. Almost anything is better than Space Ace. That's not saying much. I played a crappy game last night for my live stream. It was Geograph Seal. It was the precursor to Jumping Flash. Before X-Fact made Jumping Flash, they made a game called Geograph Seal, which is pretty much the precursor to Jumping Flash. It's like a predecessor to Jumping Flash. Like Jumping Flash if it wasn't a good game, if that makes any sense. Jumping Flash sucked. That's what Geograph Seal pretty much is. So that, considering how it's such a pivotal part of the history of one of the greatest games ever made, that definitely warrants a video on my channel. My YouTube channel kind of owes it to Geograph Seal. It's a sucky game. I think I could say I still owe a lot to Geograph Seal. I think it's only fair for me to pay respects to it, so I guess I'm gonna have no choice but to make a video of that in the next coming time. However, as I know, doing these Spyro Let's Plays is still more important right now. There, we defeated the Aladdin wannabe. This place does look a lot like Agrabah from Aladdin, the more I think of it as. So I wonder why spies were going here. Was it to bust street rats, maybe? I wonder why that guy became a terrorist anyways. Was it to bust street rats like Aladdin? Maybe he wanted to take over the role of Sultan. Makes sense, because man-children often have self-entitlement issues. They think they're better than everyone else. So let's go to Dee Dee now, and she's gonna say, oh yeah, her name's Greta. Spyro, you make a great secret agent. Now take me to your nuclear vessels. Yeah, nuclear vessels. That's exactly what you want something like that to say. Take you to your nuclear vessels. So you got the talisman. It looks like a giant scarab or something like that. There's scarabs like that in Aladdin. Yeah, this level is a lot like Aladdin. I was saying there's bugs that probably defend the palace, and or maybe they're defending the Cave of Wonders. I don't know, maybe Handle and Gwen, or whatever their names are, wanting to go to the Cave of Wonders. Oh look, their eyes just suddenly turn red out of nowhere. They suddenly inherit bizarre powers where they could use to... It's like freaking Dragon Ball Z stuff or freaking anime stuff where they go like, I'm going Super Saiyan. Going Super Saiyan, yeah, Super Saiyan, my man. So we're going back to the Autumn Plains homeworld, of course. We're still in the Autumn Plains, in case you forgot. So now we're going off to the next level in the game, a pretty nostalgic level in the game. All these levels in this game are nostalgic in one way or another. So we're going to be heading off to... I think it's right there. Yes, it's over here. Yes, Fracture Hills. Fracture Hills. That makes me think of a movie. I never saw this movie, but I saw an advertising for it a long time ago. It was just called Fracture. It made me think, does that have anything to do with this Fractured Hills, though? I doubt it. It was just some odd poster I saw at a movie theater back in 2007 when I went to the movies for a day trip with some kids to watch Meet the Robinsons, that Disney movie Meet the Robinsons. I didn't see that movie again afterwards, or I think I did see when it came on DVD later that year, but I didn't see it again afterwards, like over a decade later. And then one kid bragged about how he was going to use his MP3 player to record the audio of the movie, which is something that probably would have had him locked up behind bars if he actually did that. So I guess it's good that his MP3 player wasn't really capable of recording that kind of commentary. I bet if he was making videos like these in 2007, he would really brag about how he could use your MP3 player as a fully fledged audio recording device. But I'm pretty sure my phone is a better recording device. Heck, even the first iPhone probably would have done a better job of recording something like that. And the first iPhone actually did have a pretty sucky microphone. And what do you expect for the first smartphone ever from 2007? It only did 2G. So we're pretty much in these Fractured Hills now. I guess this is like in Scotland or somewhere like that, where all the characters have Scottish... All the male characters, not the girl ones, but the male characters seem to have Scottish accent. You must go to the temple, I know. And then there's these killer bushes that come to life randomly. They try to eat Spyro. Those killer bushes can eat Spyro whole. No, they're like those plant things, like those plants that are like had really like sharp blades, that like really sharp razor blades on the sides of them that naturally grow on them. They actually put up a caution sign that says warning, contains blood and gore. Yeah, that would contain blood and gore if you got your hands too close to one of those things. Those things that could make perfect weapons. What if that's where we get our weapons from? Plants? Whoever thought that plants would make perfect weapons? All sorts of unexpected things can make perfect weapons. Even a keychain can make an awesome weapon, and then even a banana can make an awesome weapon too if you know what to do with it. Maybe that's why they made holsters shaped the way they are, so you can keep bananas in your holsters. Why don't you keep a banana in it? There's all these gems there. This level's of course littered with gems, and this is one of the only levels in the Autumn Plains that's not possible to 100% complete on the first attempt. And because there's one mini-game challenging in this level that requires the head bash ability, which is something we're not going to have until we get to the Winter Tundra, which is the third and final world of the game. Yeah, we're already in the second last world of the game, pretty much. It's only 3 worlds in this game, unlike Spyro 1, which had a lot more worlds than this. Well, it seems like this game isn't really as long as I remembered. I remember PS1 games used to seem very long when I was a kid, but now they don't seem very long at all anymore. They seem kind of short. That's actually for the better. I actually like shorter games more. It's better to have a game that's good and short than it is to have a game that's long and not very good. That's part of why I don't like Earthbound that much. I find Earthbound is too long and dull and boring and just doesn't really add up to anything. It just doesn't really, it's just not as fun as I would. It's just not my definition of an entertaining game. I think I've mentioned that in a lot of my other videos. There's still some gems here. There's a lot of green gems. There's a gold gem. I don't know if it's gold or yellow. I don't know. I'm colorblind, so I can't tell the difference between gold and yellow a lot of the time. I'm just gonna go run down those vases there, and look at that. We bursted open every one of these things playing the bagpipes. Mr. Plinkett says that bagpipes are one of the 2 worst things ever made. Really, everything that says ever made by mankind is just as bad as the bagpipes. It's Star Wars Episode 2. Star Wars Episode 2 and bagpipes are the worst things ever invented. I think there's things that are way worse that mankind invented. I think car alarms are one of them. Because sometimes car alarms malfunction and they cause people to, stay awake all night long because their cars, malfunction and make too much noise. That's a worse invention than bagpipes, I think, in Star Wars Episode 2. I think Geograph Fuel might be a worse invention than, actually, I don't know. I know Star Wars Episode 2 is a better invention than Geograph Fuel. But then again, I actually kind of like Star Wars Episode 2, so It's maybe from perspective, someone doesn't like the movie, it would. Like, I showed that movie to a friend a few months ago, Star Wars Episode 2, and I thought his father was gonna scold me for it, because his father hates the Star Wars prequel trilogy so much that he refuses to acknowledge the fact they exist. That's what some people are like with Spyro. Some people refuse to acknowledge any of the Spyro games after Spyro 3 as being, actual games that really exist. They're not just figments of our imaginations. Apparently the music is so bad that it makes those rocks break, and then we could gain access to the castle. It's gonna tell us I have one more left. Yeah, shut up, Scottish thing, Scottish mythical creature. I don't know if they're actually Scottish or Greek, maybe, I don't know. Was there such things as Scottish myths? I don't know. I'm sure every country in the world probably has myths, even though Scotland's technically not a country. That's Ireland, that's a country, but not Scotland. There's still some gems lying around. Oh, there's this challenge, but I can't do this yet because you need to have 14 spirit particles to do this. And I only have, I think, 7 spirit particles if I'm not mistaken, so I still have to kill 7 more enemies. This is actually something that might be kind of cumbersome a lot of the time, or troublesome or whatever. Or because this is the only Spyro game I know that has spirit particles. In Spyro's 1 and 3, you kill enemies, you just get gems, and that's all they count for is gems, and that's it. And Spyro 2 changed it to when you kill enemies, you get spirit particles rather than gems. And spirit particles power those power-ups. What powers the power-ups? Well, spirit particles. Where do spirit particles get their power from? Probably the enemies. I don't know where else they could. He's just gonna tell us that now that we've rescued all the satyrs, we can now go into the castle. This level's also somewhat reminiscent of Narnia. This level's somewhat reminiscent of Narnia. This whole game is all like Narnia in a lot of ways. It's so fantasized, like filled with bizarre fantasy creatures. And so forth stuff that's going to later serve as a catalyst precursor to Jumping Flash. Not Jumping Flash, but Jumping Flash was Geograph Field. Well, Jumping Flash came from Geograph Field, and Ratchet and Clank would come from this. There actually are kind of similarities, like how one company came up with one thing first, and then later they kind of used it as like the precursor for something else. Kind of like how this game and Disruptor are pretty much the precursors to Ratchet and Clank. Geograph Field's a precursor to Jumping Flash, and this. Only difference is Insomniac actually made good games before they made Ratchet, Clank, and Spyro, and Disruptor actually were pretty good games. Disruptor wasn't that big of a hit, but it was a pretty good game. It's a popular hit with a lot of my friends during my live streams. And of course, before Insomniac, they made that, and then before Exact made Jumping Flash, they made Geograph Field, which wasn't a good game at all. I wonder if that's the reason why Jumping Flash is so overlooked, maybe, because their history of making games isn't that good. That's all I really know that Exact ever made. I don't really think they made any other games other than those few games that I know of. Insomniac didn't really make a lot of stuff either before Ratchet and Clank. Spyro and Disruptor isn't really an awful, that's not really that many games. Or they did make some more stuff that I don't know about. I don't know. There's probably are some more games out there. I constantly discovered games I never heard of before that were made by companies I knew pretty well. I discovered that Psygnosis made, I forget what it was, Psygnosis made this game on the PS1. It was called Colony Wars or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, it was like some space battle type games on the PS1. I've still never played it yet, but it was made by Psygnosis. I never heard of it before. How could something made by Psygnosis slip under my nose without me knowing about it? Well, somehow it did. Almost everything slips under my nose without me knowing about it. Heck, I didn't even really know about Spyro 3 until so many years after I got Spyro 2. I sometimes wondered if it really existed or not, because I never saw it anywhere, so I often question, is this even a real game at all? I knew it must have been good. It's Spyro, it's made by Insomniac. How could this be bad? Well, a lot of things like that could be bad, but it wasn't. So Hunter somehow got encased in stone. Well, his legs got encased in stone, so you need to get that alchemist to come over and break the stone. I guess the alchemist has what do you call, what do you call it? Like an antidote for the consequence of looking at Medusa. Kind of like when that kid in middle school used to say a lot, oh, why did Medusa turn to stone? Because she looked at your face. They can imply your face is so bad it makes Medusa turn to stone. So here's the alchemist. You're the nicely smoothed out alchemist. And this game actually is surprisingly smooth for a PS1 game. I just noticed that. I'm not using PS1 smoothing or anything like that. I never use stuff like that. I prefer to play PS1 games the way they originally were intended to look. I don't like using smoothing. It doesn't feel genuine. There's something about that old grainy look, that old grainy, rugged, hard look that makes it, makes it more genuine. Makes it feel like I'm playing this on an actual PS1 controller too. A white PS1 controller from the early 2000s. That's I'm using to play this. I'm going to use that to play my other Spyro game, Spyro 3, when I eventually Let's Play that. And when I use it for Let's Playing PS1 games, that's what I'm going to be. I think PS1 holds a record for having the most amount of games I've done Let's Plays from. But then again, PS1's the system I have more games from than any other system there is, so I guess that's, kind of fair. And oddly enough, I have a lot of Genesis games too, but I haven't really made a lot of videos of Genesis games despite that. At least not recently. And even then, a lot of the Genesis games I have are not really the kinds of games I would do Let's Plays of. I think we got the Alchemist. Yes, we lured the Alchemist successfully to Hunter encased in the stone. So the stone's gonna break, and now Hunter is free. And in this game's sense of logic, you're gonna get something for that. And of course, it's gonna be the only thing you ever get for doing something like that in this game. Orbs. Someone said that Spyro 1 might be the best Spyro game there is because it's simply perfect, because there's no orbs or eggs in it. But I never actually watched the video or clicked on the video, but I kind of disagree, because there were eggs in Spyro 1, and Spyro 1 technically did have something to collect. In Spyro 1 it was the dragons, you had to rescue his dragons. Spyro 2 it's orbs, and Spyro 3 it's eggs. Each Spyro game has its own different thing you collect. And Spyro 4 was dragonflies, but you don't really collect, and you can get them same way you get orbs in this game. A lot of times you collect dragonflies the same way you capture monkeys in Ape Escape. Of course, Spyro is obviously incapable of using a net, because he's a quadruped, so he can't use a net. So he uses bubble breath, and that came to some new mechanic they added into Spyro 4. Spyro 4 really was an ambitious game. It's a shame it didn't, was rushed, so it didn't turn out very well. But some people agree that Spyro 4 is pretty good. A lot of people say it's better than a lot of the other crappy Spyro games that came afterwards, which I don't really know much about at all. Yes, I think we have enough spirit particles now so we could free Spinner's friend. I remember learning how to do this a long time ago. It's one of the first impressive achievements I was ever capable of doing back in the day of this game. Mostly because I remember one of the PlayStation Underground Jam Packs dated fall of 1999. It had cool moves. Both PlayStation Jam Packs had cool moves on them where they could show you how to do things in games, like special tricks and things, how to get things in games. And I actually showed, I remember one time was a video of this and showed you how to rescue Spinner's friend in Spyro 2.
Thank goodness you broke that door down for me.
And I just watched it so many times, and that was before I even owned this game. It just stuck into my mind so well, and now I still remember it to this very day. I can learn it so well. I can almost do it in my sleep if I learned it any better. So I'm pretty sure it's more than half of all the orbs in the game. I have more than 50% of all the orbs in the game now, I think. I get rich with orbs. And I think I can now go to this castle now where that I had to break open, and I don't even think there's a clear path to it. Maybe there is there's a clear path. It's kind of like an odd. This level's mapped in a weird way. I think there is a mapping system in this game. I've seen people use it before, but I have it turned off for some reason. Because I'm just that familiar with this game that I don't need a map for it. But there's other games that they could have done better if they had maps. Like Lego Star Wars 3. I'm looking at you, Lego Star Wars 3. So we're gonna get the talisman for this level. It's gonna be some kind of musical instrument, because this is a musical themed level, so what else is it gonna be? Another scarab like in Scorch? The Fracture Hills Talisman. And now we can run back to the Autumn Plains, because the branch got, because that one minigame challenge required bashing, which is something we don't have yet. So yeah, this is one of the only levels in Autumn Plains we can't get 100% complete. Those Earth Shapers are going to start to learn to like the bagpipes music. You think they would like music like that, considering the fact your eardrums are probably made out of rock, solid rock. They probably wouldn't have any negative impact on that. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.